Ooh, just like a horror movie.
I was thinking the same.
Appearances can be.
Let's hope so. This picture,
It's very...
special.
Even managed to escape. There's nothing but hills and forests for 100 miles.
Imagine how many poor lunatic ghosts must haunt those woods.
Ooh, Sonny, you're creeping me out.
We should go to reception first. Let them know we're here. We should check in.
Of all the great wild ones,
Greetings, miss.
is it really you?
Well, yeah,
Yes, it really is you.
I'm afraid so.
It's furry and plumey. That's fantastic. Oh, my goodness.
Miss, we'd like to ask...
I'm just really excited. You know, I've read every book about you and your adventures, and I even collected newspaper articles when I was a little girl.
Indeed.
You can't imagine what an honor it is to meet you in person.
We really...
Oh, God, oh, God, oh, God. Take a deep breath, Miranda. Take a deep...
Are you okay, miss?
Yes, I am. I just needed some... air. So, dear...
Well, miss, we have some questions, if you don't mind.
I'd love to answer all of your questions, detectives.
This guy seems strangely familiar to me.
You don't say. You've been treated here, too. That would explain a lot.
Oh, don't be stupid. I'm serious. Take a closer look.
No.
Well?
No. Are you telling me it's him? M.B. Davis?
Pal. It seems the gossip was true. The eternal king of jazz in a madhouse.
Oh, no. Say, miss, what can you tell us about this place?
Our institution was standing even before the Great Meat War, and during the war, it was transformed into a military hospital. Since then, we're relentlessly working on treating injured minds under the leadership of Dr. Quetzal, the famous specialist.
The place seems pretty empty. Do many people work here?
We have 32 residents and nurses, including me. We also have 3-person maintenance cleaning staff, of course. And soul of our institution.
I see. Now, this Dr. Quetzal, is he the director here?
Director, scientist, researcher, patron, and doctor.
Quite a guy.
He certainly is.
So, who is this Dr. Quetzal?
He's a world-famous researcher of the mind, Mr. Featherland. He published countless books in the fields of psychology and psychotherapy.
Psycho what?
Unraveling the mind. It's the most crucial mission of the century, Mr. McChicken.
That's really good to know.
Well, this is some celebrity, right? Does he usually meet other important persons?
I'm not sure I know what you mean.
Well, like Mr. Hobart Wessler, for example.
Ah, yes. That's something you should ask the doctor himself, but unfortunately, I don't think he has time, right?
He's swamped, is he?
Exactly, Mr. Featherland. Very, very busy. All the time.
I thought so. Now, what can you say about this, miss? Have you seen anything like it?
Of course. Our residents wear these for identification. But how did you come by it? They only wear them inside the...
Huh. I see.
The wristband does belong to one of our residents. But I'm afraid I'm not allowed to tell you more due to regulations.
Oh, come on, Miranda. It's us, the chick.
I'm sorry, I can't.
Miranda, this case is a matter of life and death. Live.
All right. All right. I'll do it. Albert Wessler.
Figures. Just as we thought.
Thank you, Miranda. We'll never forget this.
Please, don't make me blush. And don't tell anyone you heard it from me.
Oh, we won't. I promise.
So when can we talk to Mr. Wessler?
I need to ask Dr. Quetzal. Please wait here.
Thank you.
We need to let them know.
Dr. Quetzal will see you. He's waiting for you in his office. Up the stairs, all the way down the hall, until the last door.
What a surprise. It's enough to mention Wessler's name and all the doors are open.
I wouldn't want to get mixed up in this, but do you think Albert is in danger?
Danger? What do you mean?
We haven't heard from him since he disappeared, and we're really, really worried.
I see. We don't know yet, miss, but let's hope for the best.
Great wild ones protect him.
Where is he?
No idea, Marty.
The smell of all that's furry. I'll never get used to it.
Well, reptiles have a disgusting body odor, Marty, but they feel exactly the same about us.
Exactly.
Great wild one. Scared the
I already sensed your arrival from afar. You know, snakes have a different sense of smell. And birds, you...
Well, yeah. Luckily, we live in civilized times.
Lucky. Please take a seat. How can I help you, gentlemen?
Your office is rather Puritan. Simple, I mean.
Ain't that the truth?
Well, yes. I can't let my mind wander from my work. I only keep what's essential.
I see. That makes sense. An isle of reason in a sea of insanity.
Insanity is such a strong word, and it's mostly an abstract idea. Where does insanity start, and how long is one not insane?
You see, that's something I think about a lot nowadays.
If you like an appointment...
Oh, this is your chance, Sonny. Don't miss it. We're already here.
Marty, clock up. Why do you have bars on your window?
Because it's a room like all the others, and I'm just an animal too, like all our residents.
With the significant difference of you being a doctor and not a patient. Am I right?
It's not as big of a difference as you'd think.
Is this cell like the others?
I would rather call it a room. But yes, it's like all the others. To be honest, gentlemen, your visit is anything but a surprise. I could even say,
What an introduction.
please forgive me. I have the bad habit of immediately getting into the middle of things. How very rude of me. My name is Dr. Siwas Quetzalcoatl.
The name is Santino, and this is my partner, Martin Chicken, from
the division of the Clawville Police Department. Your fame is one step ahead.
We're used to it.
Certainly.
We have some questions about one of your patients, if you don't mind. We'd like to talk to him, if that's possible.
Please be specific, Detective.
Look, Doctor, we're too tired to play cat and mouse. Not that snake and chicken sounds any better.
Very funny, I must say. Just what I expected from you two detectives.
We know you know it's about Albert Wessler, Ibn Wessler's secret twin. Ever since we've said his name, all the doors have miraculously opened. That's what we call a bullseye.
Well, yes, why should I deny it? We're talking about a rather illustrious patient here, who's also a very particular medical case.
Now, that's much more interesting. So, are you willing to talk about him?
Because Albert, regrettably, has disappeared, and you are police detectives, reason not to talk to you. Of course, I'm of service, but you must understand, disclose.
Not even if it's a matter of life and death?
Everything's a matter of life and death in here, Detective. This is a hospital, even if it's...
Still, I'd like to give the impossible a try.
Please, Detective, just do your job, and I...
How long was Albert a resident of the institution?
For quite some time, his first symptoms surfaced: depression.
Was he brought here immediately after the first signs that something wasn't right?
You know, the biggest problem with an opinion on insanity is that animals are ashamed of it. That's the reason our institution stands here in the middle of nowhere.
They'd rather hide what they're afraid to face.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
As far as I know, the Wessler family wasn't exceptionally wealthy.
Indeed, they were rather poor, but we offer our services gratis.
Then how do you sustain yourselves?
By the grace of the treasury of King Hector III of...
I wouldn't have guessed that.
My family...
What kind of a place is this exactly? I assume it wasn't built as an insane asylum.
It used to be a mansion. Construction started during the occupation in 622. Then it stood empty for almost a century, until finally it went to the crown.
How long have you been working here?
I've worked here for more than 30 years, but it's been in my family's possession for almost 100.
So if I count correctly, as soon as it went to the crown, it was seized by your family.
That's almost accurate, Mr. Featherland.
What a lovely inheritance. Tell me, Doctor, do you know Madame Zebas?
Like everybody else, I've heard of her, but I never had the pleasure of meeting her in person. I'm sure she's an interesting case.
Oh, you can be sure about that. I'd gladly get you two together if I had the chance. A spare cell would suit her very much.
Is that so?
As it turns out, she likes small, narrow, secret places.
Oh, I see. What a coincidence.
Dr. Quetzal's a real mystery. But I can turn that to my advantage. I just need to focus on the strangest pieces of... So when did Albert become a resident of your institute?
Albert and Hobart, or as you arrived here almost exactly.
Could you describe that more specific?
It was not long after New Year's Eve, maybe the first week of the year, if I'm not mistaken. It was sleeting that day. Wind was banging in.
What was your first impression of him?
I already knew the Wessler name. I knew who they were, or at least I knew one of them, Hobart Wessler. He was famous, gangster, money.
And Albert?
He was new to me, an invisible gray ghost. They had to keep his existence a secret.
Why?
Because they were ashamed of him, of course. Mr.
What was your first impression?
He was silent, but observed everything that surrounded him. His eyes were constantly moving.
Was he afraid?
I wouldn't say so. It seemed to me that he wanted to move into our institution voluntarily. It looked as if he couldn't wait to be here, alone, locked up.
Didn't you think of that as unusual?
Of course I did, but who am I to judge? It was rather...
What kind of special treatment did Albert get?
You know, if an institution like ours has to accept a Wessler as a guest, there's bound to be some...
And complete secrecy, I guess.
Yes, but that's the case for all our patients, Mr. Featherland.
Of course. So in what way did he receive more than the others?
Basically, we don't admit anyone into our institution. Complete and thorough prior assessment. In the case of Albert...
So you didn't even know if he had anything wrong with him?
Initially, no. He was more of a guest than a patient.
How did you see Albert when you first met?
Albert was shy and reserved, like a ghost. He almost never touched anything. It was evident he was exceptionally intelligent. He measured...
What else?
He was and graceful, almost like a woman. Yes. He was rather feminine. He was an artist, Mr. Featherland, a magnificent painter.
Why did he have to be locked up?
I asked the same thing at first.
Are you telling me...
Now we found very quickly there's no other reason for all of his seizures. He had a cold and calculating personality who sometimes, especially on stormy days,
He had seizures from the...
yes, Mr. Featherland, but they started to intensify after Albert left.
He left the institution. More...
Oh, yes, Mr. Featherland. Albert left the institution on several occasions until the last time, when he failed.
Quetzal's not only very observant, but he's addicted to details. I must focus on that if I want to get closer to the truth. Focus. So Albert...
Far from it, Mr. Featherland, though Mr. Hobart Wessler had appeared on many occasions and took Albert with him. At those times, he usually brought him back.
What was the purpose of the...
Albert Wessler was working on a painting.
Yes, the painting. It's all starting to...
Oh, you've heard about the paint.
Sure I have. Did Albert tell you how he...
From the first moment he loved it. He was fascinated by it. But who could blame him? A little diversity, fresh air, a beautiful lady. On top of all that,
which could be a surprisingly effective therapy.
Unfortunately, these excursions intensified his seizures. They have become more frequent and extreme.
So Albert left on many occasions to continue working on the painting.
Exactly, Mr. Featherland. Every time he came back, he was like a different person. But unfortunately,
more dangerous.
Albert was hurting himself, and on one occasion he even tried to hurt me. It was unprecedented. It seemed his confined personality.
Do you think the painting caused it?
Not the painting, Mr. Featherland.
But its subject.
Exactly. He was obsessed, right until that fateful day when he returned to us.
What exactly happened that day, Doctor?
It wasn't Hobart who brought his brother back that day, but two of his gorillas. Not literally, I mean. And
What happened to him?
I don't like to talk about that, Mr. Featherland.
It could be vital to the case, Dr. Quetzal. Don't back down.
Oh, you're right. There's no use turning back now. So, Albert's tongue was torn out, or cut off, I don't know exactly, and he was blinded in one eye, or...
So you're saying Albert was brought back horribly mutilated?
Yes. And they didn't give any explanation as to what had happened. They simply told...
Dr. Quetzal is cold and professional, but he's also confused. Maybe it's cruel, but I must exploit his vulnerability if I want to learn everything about Albert. You didn't believe.
Of course not. I'm not naive. I knew immediately that Albert had been severely battered, and I was sure it had been...
We don't know that, Dr. Quetzal.
Would you defend a monster?
Take it easy, Doc. One of the most critical elements of my job is not to make assumptions.
You're absolutely right, Mr. Featherland. I'm sorry,
It's all right. Happens to everyone. Concentrate, Doc.
I'm sure. He ordered his men to mutilate poor...
But why would he do that?
Maybe Albert saw something he could accidentally...
To whom? The four walls? A couple of crazies?
To anyone, Mr. Featherland.
I don't think it's that simple, Doctor. But thank you for your honest opinion.
You're welcome, Detective.
What happened then? How did Albert disappear?
A few weeks later, Hobart came to visit Albert one more time. Albert had been in terrible condition by then. We even had to transfer him to another cell.
What did Hobart do during the visit?
He didn't do anything. He just sat and watched his brother, who was...
Couldn't you manage to draw anything out of him? You or Hobart?
Nothing. For a while, he was trying to signal something. Perhaps he was too afraid. And most likely his fingers had been broken too.
Do you think Hobart could have killed Albert?
It's horrible to say it.
But how did he disappear in the end? Did someone...
That's what's most eerie about it all, Mr. Featherland. He simply disappeared.
Did anyone see anything?
No one. We interrogated the staff, even the patients. He simply vanished off the face of the wilderness.
Unfortunately, I have a hunch. Thank you, Doctor. You've been a great help.
Oh, well, I'm glad I could be of help. But please, I attend.
We understand, Doctor. Thank you. need to let them...
Doesn't matter how big a star once were. Ending up being crazy and rotting insane asylum in the middle of nowhere.
That was very poetic of you, Marty. Almost deep. You don't drown.
Cluck you.
Sorry, but I still can't believe it's really you.
Neither can we.
You can't imagine how wonderful it is that I can help you in one of your cases. Does this mean it will become a new book? And
Miss, those books aren't really...
don't even tell me. No, I don't want to know. Let it be a surprise instead.
No, I didn't mean...
Leave it to me, Sonny. I'm good at this. Thank you, miss. Your words are very flattering, and we are honored.
No, I thank you. I'll never forget this day.
We won't either, that's for sure.
We're happy to bring you joy, miss. Anytime. So, escaping is impossible.
Want to escape? I have the privilege of using the...
We need to let them know we're here first. That was...
Cluck you.
That...
Cluck.
Insane ghosts in the woods, Marty.
Sonny, it's not funny.
It's a piece of a painting, judging by... Why did you keep that? We need to let them know.
Please, I'm...
Thank you, miss.
We need to... It's quite shocking information.
I think you understand why we kept it a secret. If it wasn't for Mr. Wessler's demand, we'd never let any of our patients walk freely outside our institute.
Then the accident happened.
Accident? Didn't believe it, not for a second. After Albert came back to us, horrible.
Different how?
If someone got one of his eyes poked out and his tongue torn out, he'd be different.
Doctor, so...
Rather call it his room. Mr. Wessler lived in...
Thanks to the Wessler name, I guess.
Yes. Well, we try to make all of our patients stay as comfortable as possible, but Albert...
I hope you don't mind if we take a look around in there.
That's It's not going to bother any...
Well, that's, surprising.
Never seen a cell like this before, that's for sure. I was living here myself.
It seems that being a Wesley has privileges. Mostly that. Now, let's take a good look around. I'm sure we'll find some answers here. I can almost smell.
Well, I smell paint, ink, plaster, some kind of oil.
What the dick?
Unmistakable. Yeah.
This place is bad for you, pal. But if you've already jump-started your holes, then sniff out the solution.
I'm on it, Bird.
Look at that. A letter. Newspaper articles, study papers, poems.
Just like the troubled mind of a troubled fella.
Yeah, but there's still a kind of order in it. It's just too you to comprehend.
If you say so, boss.
Identical twins. And looking at it, they may have easily loved the same woman. Two men and one woman. Nothing of a that.
Well, I wouldn't that.
Of all the wild ones, Marty, please, stitch up your beak, okay?
Just use your imagination, old bird. No way! Is this some kind of puzzle?
Think so. But we could still find something important here. A pattern, a sign, anything. A small window, a small hope. The style. It's very familiar to me.
You've been lonely for far too long, huh?
Not funny, Marty.
It is, a little. You know, I don't think he had it so bad in here.
You mean apart from being separated from everyone you love in an ancient mansion filled with madmen?
You're right.
As always. Albert was madly in love with Natasha and would have done anything for her. I'm afraid he did exactly that. Albert was mad. Identical twins. And looking at it, they may have easily loved the same woman. What do you make of this?
Apart from the fact the guy was totally insane? I don't know. What should I?
That maybe we've been chasing the wrong person all this time, Marty. Everything will be revealed soon.
Why do you have to be so dramatic all of a sudden?
If I'm right, this'll whole case upside down.
What's that? Some blurb from some horrible novel?
I just think through before I do anything.
Ugh, you're killing me. So, what?
Back to coffee, where we can finally put all the pieces together.
You're driving me crazy. Farewell, Miranda, dear. Lovely to meet you.
So, you'll remember my name?
Marty McChicken never forgets, ma'am.
Oh,
Furry gods. Let's go. Goodbye, miss. It was a pleasure.
goodbye, gentlemen. And happy investigating.
I'm sure it'll be fun.
If there's anything I can help you with, please
Thank you, Miranda. You've all... Oh, I don't believe this. Those two again?
Take him out. My car.
Don't worry, Sonny. I was born to do this.
Great, Marty, for the God's sake. Are you blind? What? Where did you learn to shoot?
That was close.
A little too close for my taste, and it only strengthens my belief. Wessler is desperate. He knows if we survive, he's done for.
Well, come on, what did you work out? Will you tell me already?
Sure. Let's put the picture together, piece by piece. Let's start from the beginning. So, we got a case.